and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are you sure?
Okay, at this time we will approve agenda. Do I have a recommendation?
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the agenda.
I have a recommendation to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The motion carried. Superintendent's report.
Madam President, I have an early graduation request that I'll ask the board to consider in executive session. Next thing in my report, February is Black History Month, and I would like to ask Mr. Spencer at this time to say a few words about programs and lessons that are being taught this month in our schools.
Well, as you can tell in your packet, there are a variety of activities listed that schools submitted. And I encourage you, if you have an opportunity to go out and see some of the great things they're going to be doing throughout the month of February. But if you have any questions about any of the activities there in front of you, please give me a call. I'll see what I can do to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer.
Attorney's report, Mr. King.
I'm sorry.
Hurry, let's go.
It's two more items. Did I do two?
Yeah.
Got time limit? All right.
Yeah.
Got two more items. This time, we got one of our employees that we'd like to recognize, and I'll ask Ms. Weeks to say a few words and let us know about that recognition.
Okay, Jerry Hill has recently been elected Vice President of the Mississippi Chapter of the National School Public Relations Organization. MSPRA encompasses the state of Mississippi, and it works to establish a clear philosophy for school public relations. This organization also promotes ethical purposes by people working in the field of school public relations. It develops and recommends effective strategies for school districts, fosters professional growth, and serves as a resource for public relations officials in school districts. We're very proud of Ms. Hill, and we wanted to take a minute this afternoon and recognize this accomplishment.
Take our picture. We got a certificate. Great. Congratulations. At this time, we've got our teacher spotlight segment. We've got Shane Jones, principal of South Haven High School. He'll introduce our.
Thank you for the opportunity for us to present some of the good things happening at South Haven High. I'm going to introduce our teacher just in 1 second, but I'll just give you a little background of where this program came from. About 5 years ago, we saw a need to kind of develop some student leadership at our school, and also the need to participate in more community service and community outreach. And from those conversations, the student ambassadors of South Haven High School were born. And it's evolved each year to where it's really kind of becoming a culture in our school. It's a class, personal leadership, where students can get a credit for, and they're carefully screened. The teacher that has been involved with it for the last couple of years is behind me, and she has a nice presentation for us. She does an outstanding job. She has a wonderful curriculum for them, and then many projects that they have to do in the school and out of school. And so Ms. Amanda Jordan heads that up, and I'm going to turn this over to her at this time.
So I'm nervous, just so you know. I'm going to get that out of the way.
We are too.
All right, well, I am just going to tell y'all a little bit about the program. It's a student leadership program at our high school, and it's sponsored by me. I'm Amanda Jordan. We serve as role models within the school and the community. We like to show good leadership, good judgment, both in the school and in the community. And we also choose students who we know will really represent us with honesty and integrity. So they have good responsibilities, and we choose them carefully. This is our application process. We usually start to take applications in March, and the application includes a student questionnaire, very, broad questions, 3 teacher recommendations so we can get to know them if we're not very familiar with them already, and also a parent consent form because the students will be doing so much inside and outside of the school. These are our program considerations. Our target, we kind of target specific groups of students that might not be represented by other clubs within the school. We partner with other groups within the school, and we kind of like to do community initiatives. I'm sure y'all are familiar with our Volt Buddies at the school. We kind of partner with them a lot. We also do school integration. The ambassadors for the past 2 years have an initiative called Real Talk. And Real Talk is where groups of the ambassadors go over to our I building where our 9th graders are, and they go on a Tuesday normally of 1 week, and they will just kind of have questions for like ACT prep, college prep, because many of our 9th graders come in and they're just not really sure where to start. So they will hand out sheets, ask the questions you'd like, and the following Tuesday they go back to answer all of those questions. So we kind of try to bridge the gap with our 9th grade building. This is just a picture of our cheer and dance teams along with the ambassadors. We do pep rallies at all 4 of our South Haven elementary schools. We do things such as Red Ribbon Week pep rallies. We have an anti-bullying pep rally we do. So this is just kind of a fun little picture we take after. And the next slide will be a short little clip that you can see our students in action. Well, it kind of froze up on us, but we make a fun little tunnel for the kids to come through and get them excited, and then kind of do some cheer and dance, and the ambassadors visit with them. Okay. We also visit the Harris Hope Lodge in December. If you're not familiar with the Harris Hope Lodge, it's for cancer patients, adult cancer patients. So we go and we make dinner for them. Normally we make various soups, grilled cheeses, and some desserts, and we take Christmas blankets and Christmas cards, and we just have dinner with them and spend some time with them, so the kids really enjoy this. And that's just a few pictures of our visit this year. And another fun picture, we usually take a serious picture and then a let's be goofy and have fun picture. We also visit Hermitage Gardens, which is a nursing home near the school. We do this in December as well. We hand out Christmas blankets and cards, and we get to go room to room, so that's always really fun for the kids to see. And we also get to play the picture kind of taken from the back. The kids are playing a really fun game of when I was 17. So they play this game of when they were 17 versus when the residents were 17. So we have a really, really good time with that. Expectations for the class. We have just good academic standing, behavior, obviously no major referrals. And then you have to have regular school attendance, no excessive tardies to class or absences, and positive and respectful attitude at all times to students, staff, and administrators. We just want really great role models. So the top, it's usually about a top 30 students are chosen, so we just really want those standards met. The benefits that the children get from this, the students, they're not really children, they'd be mad if I said that. It's service-based leadership, development of communication and interpersonal skills, a good resume builder, also for college applications, relationship building opportunities. They work at the food bank with the Desoto Central ambassadors, so they really get a good network there and really enjoy that. We also go to Le Bonheur. They have, I did not touch that button. Okay, they have a really good time at Lavonner. We have a toy drive at the school, and we usually do the toy drive for about a month, and then take all of the toys to Lavonner, and we also get to go room to room to do that as well. And they just really, really enjoy this. They also get to play games with them. So this fun picture here was Halloween Twister, and they had a really good time. We also read books and kind of just go and spend some time at our preschool next door, and you know, just spend time with the kids, and they get to see kind of every age. You see from the preschool age all the way up to at the nursing home. So it's a lot of fun. During the football season, we greet elementary school kids, all four local elementary schools, and we have cheerleaders, the dance team, and football players, and they'll split themselves between the car rider line and the bus rider line, and some of them even escort the kids inside who really, really want to be special. We also, when I get my students in August, I make them do these silly team builders. So that's what this picture is. This is called landmine. So we kind of make a course, and then we throw our landmines in, which are our paper balls. And another student or partner at the other end has to walk their partner through and not step on a landmine. So it just builds trust. And they have to trust each other and be close to each other in this class, or it just doesn't work, because we work so closely with one another. Each year, I make each of my individual classes come up with their own mission statement. So, this is actually last year's group. They chose today, "You are you, that is truer than true. There's no one alive who is truer than you." And that was just our motto for the entire year. And we hung signs around the school. We took signs to the elementary schools as well. And that was what we really instilled for the whole year. We also did a fundraiser for Retrieving Freedom. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with Retrieving Freedom, but it's a really great business. Our assistant principal, Ms. Kelly Dinsford, her son, who is pictured in the wheelchair, he was injured in a military exercise, and he actually got his service dog from Retrieving Freedom. And we just kind of wanted to help not only Ms. Dinsford and Tyler, but Retrieving Freedom as a whole. So we raised money, and we also sold t-shirts. We had a bake sale. And this is a picture of the shirts that we sold. All of our proceeds went straight to Retrieving Freedom. On the right, that's also just a picture of the flyers that we hung around the school. And we're actually getting ready to present the money to Retrieving Freedom. They are in need of dog beds, and we raised $1,600 for Retrieving Freedom. That was with Greenbrook Elementary School also did a pajama day and helped us out. We do trunk or treat. We go to the elementary schools every Tuesday, so we send out invitations and flyers, and we have trunk or treat every year. We also volunteer the third Wednesday of every month at the food bank, and we go anywhere from 1:30 to 4:30, and they really enjoy that. That's probably one of the most rewarding things that we do. Oh, I'm sorry. And of course, Charger Spirit. We put signs at our football fields, basketball games, around the school. And this is just a funny picture, they decided that they were going to put handprints all over a sign, but this is just part of the team builder. They have to get together, and they have to have school spirit and represent the school well. And that is all I have for y'all. We have an email with our Real Talk. If some of the students in the 9th grade building are not comfortable filling out the sheet of paper, they can just email us. So any emails for the ambassadors go to SHS Real Talk. And we also have an Instagram page, so if y'all would like to follow us and see all the fun stuff we do, please feel free. And those are my sweet, not children, my grown students. Thank y'all so much for your time.
Great presentation, Ms. Jordan, and I've seen the ambassadors in action, and they do a great great job. Ms. George, you do a wonderful job with them, and they get out, and I love seeing how they work with other schools, elementary schools, middle school, and then also, obviously, in the community. Mr. Jones, we appreciate your leadership at South Haven High School. You're doing a great job there at Crunsville. And we also want to once again congratulate Ms. Hill, and Ms. Hill, we're proud of you, and we know you'll represent us well on the state level. And so that concludes the superintendent's report. I'm done this time, I really am.
Mr. Key?
Yes, ma'am. I have one personnel contract matter and one litigation matter to discuss with the board in executive session.
Thank you. I need the motion to approve the minutes for January 19, 2018 board meeting. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. None opposed, so the motion has carried. Consent agenda. Your recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the consent agenda.
I have a recommendation to approve this consent agenda. Do I have this as a motion? Do I have a second? Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. The motion carried. Okay. Bids Classroom Additions, Center Hill Middle School, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Biz is working on the 16th of January for the addition of 4 new classrooms at Center Hill Middle School. The low bidder was Legacy Construction Services. Based on their submittal of the low bid, my recommendation is to award the project to the low bidder, which is Legacy Construction Company.
Madam President, I recommend to the board to approve the bid from Legacy Construction Services for the classroom additions at Center Hill Middle School.
I have a recommendation to accept the lowest and best bid from Legacy Construction Services. Do I have a motion?
Make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion passed. Constructional agreement, Legacy Construction Services, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. I'm asking for approval to enter into a contractual agreement with Legacy Construction Services for the Center Hill Middle School classroom additions.
Recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve entering into the contract, the contractual agreement with Legacy Construction Services.
I have a recommendation to accept the contractual agreement with Legacy Construction for classroom additions at Center Hill Middle. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
when you run through all of these, give us the timetable.
Yes, sir. The start date on the Center Hill Middle back into the parcel is February the 12th. And we're looking at a closing date of July the 16th as the middle date, which would mean that the building would be usable hopefully by that time, even if we still have a punch list to run.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have a motion and a second.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion carried. Bids for classroom additions, DeSoto Central Primary, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Bill is working on the January the 18th for classroom additions at DeSoto Central Primary. It'll be 4 classrooms, looking at the same start date of February the 12th. Hopefully the close date is July the 16th. Based on their submittal of the low bid, my recommendation is to award the project to the low bidder, which is Murphy's and Sons Incorporated.
Madam President, I recommend to the board to approve the low bid from Murphy and Sons for the classroom additions at DeSoto Central Primary School.
I have a recommendation to accept the lowest and best bid from Murphy and Sons for DeSoto Central Primary. Do I have that in a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Contractual agreement with Murphy and Sons Incorporated, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am, asking for approval to enter into a contractual agreement with Murphy's and Sons for the additional classrooms at DeSoto Central Primary.
All right, your recommendations.
Madam President, I recommend to the board to approve the entering into the contractual agreement with Murphy and Sons for the construction of the Citizen Primary School.
I have a recommendation to accept the contractual agreement with Murphy and Sons Incorporated for the classroom additions at DeSoto Central Primary. Do I have this in a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Get a second.
Okay, I'm sorry. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it. The motion carried. Bids, classroom additions, Lewisburg Middle School. Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am, this is for 8 classrooms at Lewisburg Middle School. We opened the bids on the 16th of January. There were 7 bids received. The lowest bidder was Murphy and Sons. Based on that low bid, my recommendation is to award the project to Murphy and Sons. And the start date and finish date, the start date is February 12th, finish date, completion date is July the 16th.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid for classroom additions at Lewisburg Middle School from the lowest and best bids from Murphy and Sons.
I have a recommendation to accept the lowest and best bid from Murphy and Sons for additions to Lewisburg Middle School. Do I have that in motion?
I make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Contractual agreement with Murphy and Sons Incorporated, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Asking for approval to enter into a contractual agreement with Murphy and Sons for the Lewisburg Middle School 8 classroom addition.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve entering into the contractual agreement with Murphy and Sons Incorporated for the Lewisburg Middle School addition.
I have a recommendation to accept the contract agreement with Murphy and Sons Incorporated for 8 classrooms addition at Lewisburg Middle School. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, or that all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Contractual agreement, Legacy, I'm sorry, wrong one. Bids for classroom additions at Pleasant Hill Elementary, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Bids were open on the 18th for classroom additions for Pleasant Hill Elementary. Before classrooms, the start date on this project, if approved, will be February the 12th, completion date July the 16th. It's my recommendation is to go for the low bid and award the project to Legacy Construction Services.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid for Legacy Construction for the classroom additions at Pleasant Hill Elementary School.
I have a recommendation to accept the lowest and best bid from Legacy Construction for the classroom additions at Pleasant Hill Elementary. Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Contractual agreement, Legacy Construction Services, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Asking for approval to enter into a contractual agreement with Legacy Construction for the additional classrooms at Pleasant Hill Elementary.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the contractual agreement with Legacy Construction Services for the classroom additions at Pleasant Hill Elementary School.
I have a recommendation to accept the contract from Legacy Construction Services for 4 classroom additions at Pleasant Hill Elementary. Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second? Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carried. Bids, window replacement, South Haven Elementary School, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Bids were open on the 17th for window replacement, South Haven Elementary School. This will be 35 classrooms total, and that would exclude the buildings with the new additions that we added prior to changing these windows out. So it's my recommendation is to award the project to the low bidder, which is Murphy's and Sons Incorporated.
Your recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve accept the lowest and best bid from Murphy and Sons for the window replacement at South Haven Elementary School.
I have a recommendation to accept the lowest and best bid for window replacement from Murphy and Sons at South Haven Elementary School. Do I have this in a motion? Do I have a second? Second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Contractual agreement, Murphy and Sons, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Asking for approval to enter into a contractual agreement with Murphy's and Sons for the South Haven Elementary School window replacement project.
I have,
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve and accept the contractual agreement with Murphy and Sons for the window replacement project at South Haven Elementary School.
I have a recommendation to accept the contract agreement from Murphy and Sons for replacement windows at the South Haven Elementary School. Do I have this in a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Request to name counseling center at Horn Lake Middle School, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. Horn Lake Middle School contacted me about naming their counselor center after Miss Pat Kim. She passed away earlier this year. She's been there 25 years. I think Mr. Alexander could speak to her level of dedication and popularity she had within that school. And they wanted to grant that honor for her family, the students, and then the staff that she's worked with for those 25 years.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the request to name the counseling center at Horn Lake Middle School for Ms. Kimball.
I have a recommendation to name Horn Lake Middle School's Counseling Center to Pat Kimball Counseling Center. Do I have this in a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed.
And the naming ceremony will be this coming Monday at 4:30?
4:30.
Yes, sir.
Statement of revenue and expenditures for December 2017, Ms. Graves.
Don't know if you are aware, but we've been, the internet has been down, so we have not been able to get into our Munis County software for the entire day. So I won't have comparisons of last year for this. But we are, it's slightly overstated because we do have transfers in and out between funds, which means they're counting as a revenue here and normally backing it out from you, but it's not anything that's considered material. So we're going to go with our general fund revenues received so far for this year through December is $104,999,139. Our that's 46% of our budgeted general fund revenues of $228,018,370. 46% actually is about slightly ahead of where we normally are at December. We will not receive the majority of our admin work until February, March as usual. So we are slightly ahead of schedule. All funds received at this point are $121,579,041. Total budget revenues for all funds of $281,286,116. Our revenues are down in our all funds total besides general, mainly because the state has been dragging their feet on approving our federal funds. I think it's the new MCAPS program. They're trying to get everything they need. We're trying to provide what they need. As you've seen some higher negative balances in those accounts, like special education, that's one that we're waiting on approval. We're very close. We keep doing everything they ask. So, but overall, it's down, but that is money we will receive when those grants are approved, so it is not lost revenue. On our expenditure side, we are at $116,217,715 for our general accounts. That's 50% of our general budget fund expenditures. Overall, we're at $142,287,591, which is 51%. If we adjust it for the transfers, then we're probably closer to about, I think we're about 48, 47%, which is exactly where we need to be budgeted.
Thank you.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of revenue and expenditures for December 2017.
I have a recommendation to accept the statement of revenue and expenditures for December 2017. Do I have this in a motion? Do I have a second? Second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Statement of cash flow, December 2017, Ms. Graves.
Our current cash balance for district maintenance is $62,839,671. That includes our invested balance of $26,446,260. Our all funds, cash balance for all funds is $105,443,071. That's about 60% of district of that total balance.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the statement of cash flow for December 2017.
I have a recommendation to accept the statement of cash flow for December 2017. Do I have this in a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Combined balance sheet, December 2017, Ms. Graves.
Okay. Our general fund balance as of the end of December is $79,846,526. Even though I can't give an official comparison, I did look back to what we presented to the board last year at the same time, assuming no adjustments that we had made. Last year at this time, we were about at $75,027,628, so we're about $4 million ahead. Our fund balance for all funds is $102,363,617.
Thank you for your recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the combined balance sheet for December 2017.
I have a recommendation to accept the combined balance sheet for December 2017. I need this in a motion.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Certification of bank reconciliation, December 2017, Ms. Graves.
All bank statements have been reconciled with no exception.
Good. Your recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the certification of bank reconciliations for December 2017.
I have a recommendation to accept the certification of bank reconciliations for December the 2017. Do I need this in a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Any questions or comments?
Our deep appreciation to the finance.
Yeah. Thank you.
We got
Solid.
a lot of work.
We don't spend it, we just report it. So, thank you, everybody.
You do a great job.
Thank you.
Seeing no questions or comments other than what we just said, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion passed. The ayes have it, the motion passed. New board policy, JDD, suspension. This is the first read, Ms. Weeks.
Yes, ma'am. We're requesting for you to review board policy JDD. We are requesting this policy in response to House Bill 1413, which initiated the Mississippi Code 37-9-71, and it includes guidance regarding students' rights to due process when being suspended from school. This information It's included in our code of discipline, but it is also in more detail. We felt like with the severity of that type of discipline and the MSBA's recommendations, we should adopt a separate policy for that.
All right, thank you. New board policy JDE, expulsion, first read, Ms. Weeks.
Yes, this policy is also a result of House Bill 1313. And again, due to the severity of the discipline and MSBA policy recommendations, we felt like it was important to include a separate policy. However, it is also listed in our code of discipline.
Thank you. New board policy JOA, student voter registration, Ms. Weeks.
Yes, ma'am, this one is being presented for a second reading. This policy ensures that the county registrar or the county's registrar's deputy is permitted to register students who are eligible to vote within our school system, and they are given the opportunity to provide voter education.
Thank you.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve the new board policy JOA, student voter registration.
I have a recommendation to approve the new board policy JOA, student registration, for student registration. Do I have this in a motion? Do I have a second? Second. Do I have any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion passed. Revised board policy JD, student discipline, Ms. Weeks.
Yes, ma'am, we are requesting some minor revisions to this policy as a result of House Bill 1413, and we are also including more specific guidance as it relates to look-alike and toy weapons being brought to school.
Madam President, I recommend to the board to approve the revised board policy JD for student discipline.
I have a recommendation to approve the revised board policy JD, student discipline. Do I have this in a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, do we have, all in favor for this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. Revised board policy JG, school wellness policy, Ms. Weeks.
Yes, ma'am, we are requesting a revision to this policy to reflect changes recommended by the USDA regarding advertising in schools and wellness education. And so you can see on the policy those changes that were made.
Thank you. Your recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend to the board to approve the revised board policy JG for school wellness policy.
I have a recommendation to approve the revised board policy JG, school wellness policy. Do I have this in a motion? Do I have a second? Second. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion passed. 2018-2019 tentative school calendar, Ms. Weeks.
Yes, Mr. Usleton recently met with the Teacher Advisory Council to develop the school calendar for 2018-2019. After a lot of discussion and working through the process with the teachers, it was decided that August 1st would be the first day for teachers next school year. August 6th would be the first day for students. May 22nd would be the students' last day, and May 24th would be the teachers' last day. Scheduled makeup days will be December 19th and 20th, February 15th and 18th, April 22nd, and May 23rd and 24th. You will also see in your packet that you have the graduation dates for the 2018-19 school year, the length of contract for each employee, whether it's 182, 190, 200, etc. And then you have a tentative calendar listing all employee dates, and then a calendar for just teacher and student holidays and dates.
Thank you. Your recommendations.
Madam President, I recommend to the board to approve the 2018-19 tentative school calendar.
I have a recommendation to approve the 2018-2019 tentative school calendar. Do I have this in a motion?
So moved.
A second? Second. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion passed.
And on that, we've got the word tentative in there, just in case we get any type of guidance from the Mississippi Department of Education this spring regarding testing. We always have that on there. We've never had a problem in the past, but we do have that on there at the beginning. I do want to thank Ms. Weeks also. She said I met with the Teacher Advisory Council. She was also a part of that meeting, and we worked through the process. And what we started that last fall. We sent information out to our Teacher Advisory Council members. We have one from each school. We asked them to get input from their faculty members. And the calendar looks very similar to this year's. One change that you will see, this past year we had 2 staff development days at the beginning of the year in August, and then 2 at the beginning of the spring semester. And then back January, the teachers requested that we have 3 days at the beginning of the year and 1 at the beginning of the spring semester. Last year they had requested the 2 in January, but this year they requested to go 3 and 1. And so, as always, and I know our board members always want to listen to our teachers' comments and input, and so we revised the calendar so that we have 3 at the beginning and then 1 in January.
Thank you.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I congratulated Ms. Weeks earlier, and I was saying this publicly. Thank goodness for the final copies of policy we came from, and she's done a tremendous job on that, and at the same time, and I just mentioned this to our superintendent, we really are extremely fortunate for the quality. All of the staff here is something like this. You make our job so much easier. You're a great bunch, you're a talented bunch, you're a dedicated bunch, and you're an asset in every respect. I just want to personally say that every single one.
Y'all make our job so much easier.
And I'd like to say something too. I was a teacher forever and ever, and I would like to say thank you for the advisory group of teachers, and that you listen to them, because I've heard lots of complaints in all these years, and maybe this will stop a little.
But thank you. Thank all of them.
Personnel, Mr. Alexander.
Yes, ma'am. The personnel packet this evening is pages 1 and 2 are recommendations. Pages 3 and 4 are personnel changes. Page 5 is a memo of the following employee will be making $65 a day until licensed. Page 6 is a request for additional pay from our Director of Special Education. This has been on special education homebound services. Those numbers of hours are to be determined by the number of students needing those services. This will begin on February 2nd, be the end on June the 30th, 2018, and that's a rate of pay of $27 per hour. And then finally, page 7 is the list of employees who will be working for the sped homebound. That's all I see.
Thank you, sir. Your recommendation.
Madam President, I recommend the board to approve personnel as presented.
I have a recommendation to approve personnel as presented. Do I have this in a motion? Second.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the ayes have it, the motion passed. At this time, since this is our first board meeting, we have public comment. Anyone wants to say anything? Now is the time.
Hi, my name is Shirkesia Miller, and I have a residency issue.
Okay. This time right now is for if you have something that you want to know, us to know publicly. Your request to appear will have to go in the executive session because it is about a student. Okay? Ms. Miller. Public comment? Anyone else request to appear? No, ma'am? Mr. Finley, I've just got to call your name. Hi, Mr. Finley.
He stays away from the camera.
I'm glad you don't have anyone for us today. You're doing a good job.
Ms. Bowman,
Yes, ma'am.
just for your information, I spoke with Ms. Jolly this morning.
Yes.
And she said she was going to try and launch us on school.
Oh, hey, Miss Jolly.
So she may be watching us as we speak.
I need a consideration motion to go into executive session for the one personnel contract
one litigation matter, one student matter, and one early graduation. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Mr. Chase will come out here and tell you if we're going to stay in executive session.